morning, I'd like to continue our talk from yesterday about slowing down our mind. And I talked about how that our mind has brain waves. Our thoughts are brain waves. And the more thoughts we have going on in our mind, the more brain waves we have. And the more difficult it is for the Spirit of God to speak to us and for us to hear his voice. So today I'd just like to talk about a couple instances in the Bible. One is, I don't know if you remember in Acts chapter 10, where Peter went up on the rooftop, to pray while they were getting dinner ready. And the Bible says that as he was praying, he became hungry and he got into a meditative state, if you will, and he went into a trance. In other words, some people would say he got out of his mind. In other words, he got out of his thinking about stuff, and he just became relaxed, I believe, and he just fell into a trance. And what the trance was, I believe, it was a state between being awake and being asleep. While he was in this state, the Lord presented to him the vision of the cloth coming down with all the unclean animals on it, and in the vision he was told to rise up, Peter, kill and eat. And Peter couldn't do that because it was against his religious custom to do so. There's a lot of lessons in that in and of itself, because a lot of times the Lord will come to us in ways that will basically blow our mind, if you will. So Peter was in a state of relaxation. His mind waves, his brain waves were very calm. He was probably in theta state, and he became like a little child. There's another instance in Acts where Paul had the same experience. It says that after he returned to Jerusalem, he was praying in the temple, and he fell into a trance and saw someone telling him, "Hurry and get out of Jerusalem quickly, because they will not accept your testimony about me." So he was there praying, and he fell into a trance. And it was in that trance that the Spirit was able to talk to him and to show him things to come and to warn him. The Bible says that, Jesus he said, "It's expedient that I go away, because if I don't go away, the Comforter won't come. And the Comforter is the one who's going to guide you. He's going to guide you into all truth and tell you of things to come." However, if we go back to what Jesus said, he said, "Unless you become like little children, you will not be able to enter the kingdom of heaven." Because the kingdom of heaven is, we have to be in a peaceful, restful state to enter into that realm. We have to enter into it with rest, with a restful mind. And that's why Jesus said, "Don't let your heart be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me." And he also said, "Peace I leave with you, not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." So Jesus, and even Paul said, for freedom Christ has set us free. And Paul said many times, "Grace and peace be to you." And why is that? Because Christians, the more settled we are, the more we take our mind and lean upon the Lord and lean upon his understanding and be at rest, cast all our anxiety on him. The more we give up all our crazy thinking, our worrying about money, our worrying about health, our worrying about, what's going to happen politically, what's going to happen to this and that. And we worry about things, and it causes our mind to be in a state of unrest. And in that state, the Spirit has a very difficult time speaking to us, and we have a very difficult time to hear God's voice, because our mind is what I would call staticky. We're between stations. We're not exactly tuned into God. Therefore, we cannot clearly hear him. All we hear is static. That noise that you hear when you're trying to dial into a radio station. So it's very important that we become like little children. And I hope so far you have understood that to become like a little child is to get into that theta state in which a child between 2 and 5 is naturally in. They're in a state, you just observe kids in that state. They don't think. They just are absorbing it, taking it all in. And sometimes we have to stop thinking. We have to get into the presence of God and just absorb and enjoy all that he has to show us. So that's it for this video. I hope this helps. And we're going to have, in the next video, I'm going to talk about a way that we can enter into that state pretty quickly and pretty effectively. Until then, we'll talk to you later.